This is an Advent wreath with candles all aglow. During the season leading up to Christmas, we light the candles one by one, adding a little bit of visible light when the skies approach the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year. It's a reminder that there is yet more light, as the pastor to the pilgrims, John Robinson, put it. They were setting out from the Netherlands to New England when he said, "I am verily persuaded the Lord hath more truth and light yet to break forth from his holy word." But once Christmastide arrives, once the big Christ candle is lit, what then? Hi friend, I'm the Reverend Lucas Levy-Keppel, host of Truly Good News, and I'm glad you're here for this bit of Wayfaring Theology. There's a Christmas song, "What Star Is This with Beams So Bright?" that includes this verse. "While outward signs the star displays, and inward light the Lord conveys, and urges them with tender might to seek the giver of the light." When singing that song one year, we decided to try a practice of changing the outward light of the Advent candles into the inward light of God's presence, and we called it Changing the Light. One by one, we find the visible light of the Advent candles being changed into an invisible light. Light isn't gone, it's just changed. I've been thinking about how faith changes like that too. From something visible and shared into something interior and lived. How there is yet more light to experience beyond what we see and feel. So to understand the visible light, I think we have to trace it back to its invisible source. It's best then to walk backward through the Advent candles, as we just did, starting with love and ending with hope. Love, joy, peace, hope. Love is the visible flame. One of my favorite verses is 1 John 4, verse 7. "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God." Love is where God becomes visible to the world. Even though we can't understand God, God still makes God's self known through the love we experience in the world. Love is amazing. When we cook for each other, when we hold each other's hands, when we offer forgiveness when it would have been easier to walk away, well, that's where we experience the candle of love. A professor of mine loved to say, love is a verb, it's active. When you experience it, you want to pass it on. Long before I had any language for theology, I understood that love doesn't diminish when it's shared. Like a candle, lighting another doesn't make the first one weaker. Instead, the flames support each other, brightening the room and making clear, at least in part, what was shrouded in mystery. That's always mattered to me, because the heart of love, the heart of faith, the heart of God, it isn't scarcity, it's generosity. It's the trust that there is yet more light. And love is where the light first becomes visible. But when the light is changed from visible to invisible, there's still a lingering presence. Warmth. And that warmth is where joy lives. Joy is our second candle, and it's something deeper than happiness. It's the way we feel our spirit swelling within us when we know we are doing good things in the world, even if it is accompanied by grief or pain. In the Bible, both Paul and James encourage us to rejoice constantly. "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice," writes Paul to the church at Philippi. "Count it all joy, my siblings, when you meet the trials of various kinds," writes James, even more directly. It's as though finding joy, even in difficult circumstances, helps close the gash in the fabric of our soul. The grief is still there, but the joy turns aside the sharpest edge of the pain. Joy is that warmth that carries us through cold nights, the long, dark nights of the soul. The memory of the flame of love that moves us deeply to take steps again, trusting in the love and care of those around us. Over time, joy reminds us to bask in the warmth, to slow down, to notice what's happening now, how God is already here, holding us together with the world. And that takes us to our next candle, the candle of peace. of being held together long enough to heal. The older I get, the more I understand peace not as quietness, but as wholeness, as repair, as the patient work of bringing scattered pieces together. True peace takes time. The peace of God is built on understanding, built bit by bit, brick by brick, side by side. This is the peace that Christ teaches through parable and action. A peace of understanding, equality, mutual respect, and admiration as fellow children of God. A peace of healing. The exact opposite is what the Roman senator Tacitus describes, writing of the Pax Romana, the so-called peace of Rome. The Romans rob, they slaughter, they plunder, and they call it empire. Where they make a wasteland, they call it peace. Calling it peace doesn't make it so. True peace is cultivated, nurtured, and grown even in the worst of soils. True peace has to be dared. Peace between former enemies is possible, for we are all God's beloved. We just have to learn to see each other through eyes undimmed by hatred and violence. And that's the last candle of the Advent wreath, hope. Hope is active patience, reminding us that time isn't an enemy, that goodness isn't fragile, that the story, the good news, doesn't depend on our actions. Hope reminds us that all things are possible for God. And as Julian of Norwich said, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. God seems committed to slow, steady transformation more than to quick fixes. And that's the hope that underlies it all. Even when we feel stuck or our spirits are dormant, we remember that the Spirit is working beneath the surface, knitting together courage, compassion, restoration, all these things that may not be visible at first. Hope may be slow. Patience may be draining. But hopeful patience is ultimately rewarding. During Christmastide, when the candles are changed, their light doesn't go out. We learn to see it living in us. The question for this season isn't how much light we can see, but how much light we can carry. May the love you witness become the joy that steadies you. May the peace you practice grow deeper in time. And may the hope you carry be strong enough to walk with you into whatever comes next. Amen.